Be free to let your heart be loved by the word that He's listened, by the experience that we will have today. What are you looking and what are you expecting when you make the journey to come this morning to spend the day here? What are your expectations? What do you want? What you're searching for? I think there are questions that we need to answer and think about it. Because if we see the gospel, it's not easy to really embrace the truth. We always can find different excuses to go around. How something good can come from Galilee? Always is something that makes the people unable to see and accept the Lord. What is there in our hearts? What we have in our lives that make us to doubt, to embrace, and to let Jesus embrace us first? What is the image that we have about Jesus? What we think about Jesus? Is my own image that has been working, or is the image that God and Jesus is forming in me because of my relationship with Him? Sometimes we like to create the image in my own way. But that sometimes is the wrong one, because it's not the true image of Jesus that He liked to reveal to us in our relationship with Him. We will hear good speakers, some of them they are here today, and we're anxious to listen more. But the challenge is we are anxious with our heart, or we are anxious with our minds. Is to get more information or to grow in our relationship, in our friendship with the Lord. That is the key. The relationship with Jesus is an invitation for us to be ignited by truth. Is let Him to embrace me, embrace us first, that He can transform us in the way that He wants to transform me, not in the way that I want to be transformed. That is, we have sometimes our own agenda to approach Him. We always pray with conditions. Lord, if you give me this, I will. I will give you, but it's a prayer full of conditions. But lack the opening, and the opening of let Him to come to us and love us. Love always is free. Love never puts conditions at all. Love is always waiting to receive us, and in love, Jesus is to reveal in truth His true image, His true love, His true kindness, His true mercy. And that is what we are called to experience. It's an experience of a relationship with the ones who love us, who create many different reactions in our own selves too, because what I say, pray with conditions. Lord, I promise if my husband change, I will. How many novenas we are doing for someone else because that person needs to be changed? and none of them work. Why? Because what is important is you are the ones who need to be transformed first, that through us the Lord be able to help the other one, the person that we are praying for. When we pray in the way that we say novenas for the other ones to be changed and transformed, means I don't need it because I'm a saint. We pray for the other ones. But what about our own process and our own journey of purification, transformation, and growing in faith? And the only way, my brothers and sisters, that we grow in faith is when we fell in love with Jesus. It's the only way. Faith without love is nothing. Because Jesus challenged us to be in love. It's a relationship, it's not knowledge. Yes, it's important, but what is important is to fall in love with Him. Many of you who are in love or were in love, when you are in love, you don't see any obstacle. Everything is perfect. When a person is in love, you don't need to ask anything, because your face, your actions show that you are in love. In the way that a person walks, in the way that a person smiles, everything speaks about love. And that is what the Lord is inviting us. And that is what He wants us, is to fall in love and became in love and fell in love with Him, that our own actions will be a manifestation of our relationship and closeness that we have with Him. And love is what will help to transform another person. That is the key. But it's difficult. It's a challenge. I will share a little story. You know, sometimes when I say we pray for the other ones to change, and we pray especially when our own families, and we expect the other ones change first, that we can love them. You see? And it's a frustration, because with my dad, I'm the oldest, and the oldest always have a challenge with the parents, because the oldest always need to be an example. The oldest always need to be perfect. The oldest, doesn't matter how old is the second brother, always need to be an example and care for the rest. I don't know if some of you are oldest and you have that experience. You know, and doesn't matter if you are 1 year old and you have a brother who is born, they never say that you are a baby anymore. They always say, it's the oldest. There's no room for the oldest to be a baby. Or the first one to be a baby, because it's the oldest. My father was a good person, but we were like two trucks coming in front. And parents like to create expectations with the children. They want for the children to become this, but the children is like to become light. And when they don't talk to each other, it's like. In many, many years during my life, I never heard my dad saying to me, I love you. Never. And when he was sick, before he died, I took him to his bed with my mother, and was a picture of his mother in the night table. And I say, "Good night, Dad, I love you." And he said to me, "God bless you." And I say, "I love you, Dad." And he say, "God bless you." I say, "I love you." I say, "God bless you." And I said, I make a silence. I was thinking about, and I saw the picture of his mother there, and I said, "Dad, could you imagine when you die, your mother is coming to welcome you in heaven, and she will come to embrace you, and it will say, 'Rafaelito, Rafaelito, I love you.' You will answer her, 'God bless you'?" He was quiet. He took his blanket and covered his face. And I remained there, sitting in his bed, and I don't know how long he was covered with his blanket. And I was waiting, sitting there, accompanying him. And in one moment, he uncovered his face, and was the most beautiful smile in him. Beautiful. And he looked at me and said, "I love you." The first time in 50 years that I heard him saying that. And I said, "Dad, you need to practice that, because if you don't practice, you will be in purgatory for a long time." Oops. Before you be free to say, "I love you." And he looked at me with the eyes so open, and he said, "I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you." But it's I, the ones who need to start to speak and to love. But before we are able to have the freedom to approach another person, we need to let Jesus to touch us and not put a condition to him, and let him to love us in the way that he loved. Because he loved us in a perfect way, as we are. We never think about that. We never really think about that he loved me, he loved us in the way that we are. What about that? Huh? How beautiful, how great is that? That in the way that you are, that I am, he loved us. And why? Because he's expecting that through his love, in the way that he accepts us, love will help us to be transformed every day more and more in his image. And love is the key for us to let him to surprise us every day. It's difficult, we see in the gospel, for the people to accept Jesus. It's difficult for us too, because our expectations. Let him first say to you in your relationship with him, "I love you, Jesus." Or more in another way, "I love you too," because he loved us first. And have that relationship, that being transformed and united by love and truth, we can make a difference in the places that we live. It is very easy, my brothers and sisters, to pray for peace everywhere. We pray for peace in the Middle East, in Africa, in Colombia, here, there, of all of that, but we don't pray too much and as strong as we should do that for peace in our own hearts first. That is the key. And in that way, we will be able to see closer and closer the beauty of the face of Jesus. Because Jesus is true love. United by truth, and Jesus is true love. And love is the key for us to be ignited, not to go and preach, but go and love and respect the other person. And in the end of these days, sometimes we like to go home and transform everybody. We feel so united, so excited that we like to jump in home and go and when you start to talk and say, the people say, are you crazy? What happened there? What did you smoke there? Yes, here is the moment to recharge, to grow, but it's the way that we learn to respect the other one and remember our own process of faith, that we need to respect them and help them going through. Love them. The best way going back home that you can do something is give a simple kiss to that person. That's it. That's simple. And after that, I say, thank you. You start something change. And later on, maybe that person will ask you, what happened there? Okay, it's your time to share something, a little bit, and give another kiss. And that is the way that love softens the heart and opens the heart to the truth and the love of Jesus. United by truth, we are coming to celebrate the day, but let your heart to be free. Sometimes you are looking to take notes. Oh, that is great, that is great. And you never see that notes again from today. Let your heart receive what he needs. Be free to let your heart be loved by the word that he's listened, by the experience that we will have today. But let your heart to be free to have the experience that is loved. And enjoy in full your day, moving by truth, moving by love. And love is the best plastic surgery without pain. You know why? Because the most beautiful face of the person is the one who is able to smile. And when you see a face that is smile from the heart, you never see a wrinkle. You see love. And that is what the Lord is expecting to do, to make that plastic surgery in our hearts, that we can shine with his love, his truth, and his mercy.